This episode will be completely taken out of context. Welcome to the Fact Check This podcast.
All right, Fact Check This daily. And things are escalating on the foreign front with Ukraine and Russia and everything else going on with that. And if you hadn't seen the news, President Biden is considering forgiving something like $4.7 billion in loans that the U.S. had given to Ukraine. I didn't know we were actually giving them loans and with some expectation of repayment. I thought we were just sending them money flat out and not asking for anything back. But hey, news to me, some of this is actually loans, but it's going to be like every other form of government spending. We're not going to ask for money back from any foreign power or power like Ukraine's a power from any foreign country. So yeah, loan was really just a bullshit word to go ahead and float this thing. But not only is Biden considering forgiving all of the what little bit of the money that we sent them that they were pretending to expect to get refunded or returned or whatever. They're also authorizing the use of long-range weapons, as if we weren't close enough to the cusp of World War III. About a week ago, well, not even a week ago, earlier this week, as a matter of fact, President Biden authorizes Ukraine to use long-range U.S. weapons in Russia. So prior to this reversing of policy, the U.S. had a restriction on the Ukrainian military that they could not use these long-range missiles to strike at Russian targets in Russia. And I'm not really sure how they would have been expected to use them if they weren't allowed to strike at Russia in Russia. But that was the rules that the Biden administration had put on Zelensky and the Ukrainian military. Now, I don't have anything with an article confirming this, but from what I have heard and been told by people familiar with military type stuff, the Biden administration authorizing the use of these long range missiles, they're called ATACMS. Oh gosh, what was the official name? Anyway, it's a long range missile. From what I have heard and understand, the authorization of the use of these actually means U.S. military personnel would be the ones who would be firing them. The Ukraine doesn't really have the military intelligence to use these sort of things, and that's something that has been going on throughout the course of this war. Like, the U.S. does not have any deployed military, but U.S. military personnel have been going over to Ukraine to serve as mercenaries, basically. And all of them that come back say that they just like fire mortars. They don't secure they have the heavy long range cannons and stuff, and they don't secure that stuff. They're just like firing it wherever and like hope for the best. Military intelligence, for as much as like military intelligence is a joke to people in the U.S., military intelligence is non-existent as far as Ukraine's military goes, and it's why they've been hemorrhaging bodies for the past 2.5 years. So anyway, Biden gives the authorization to use the missiles, and what does Ukraine do? Well, they turn right around and get right on it. Literally a day later, the U.S. confirms that Ukraine fired long-range ACMS into Russia for the first time. Now, as seems to be par for the course, it did not accomplish a whole heck of a lot. So the U.S. official who was not authorized to speak publicly on the matter told NPR that Ukraine fired 7 U.S.-made Army tactical missile systems into Russia, striking a weapons depot near the town of Kharkiv in Russia's Bryansk region, about 70 miles from Ukraine. The official said Russia shot down 2 of the missiles. The official said that the Russian Defense Ministry said that there were 6 missiles that were fired, that 5 of them were intercepted midair and destroyed, and the 6th was damaged, and the fragments started a small fire on the ground, but there were no injuries reported on anything. So, the whichever side you want to believe on this, they fired missiles into fucking Russia. I mean, and this was at the behest of the United States government, our current sitting government, the Biden administration. Like, they're actively trying to push us to World War III, or maybe not. Okay, so 18th authorized the use of the missiles. 19th, they fire the missiles, and then on the 21st, Russia retaliates. Let's have a look at some a little bit of bombing that Russia did themselves. This is a hypersonic ballistics missile attack. For those, I wish there was some volume with this. So this is a really interesting camera angle on this one. Pretty cool looking. But I mean, that's and then I've got give me just a second. Let me pull it up. I've got another video that's a different angle of the same attack, effectively. But yeah, I mean, this is what you asked for, and this is what you're getting. Like, you are getting missiles dropped on you. Maybe don't play stupid games like firing long range missiles into Russia when Russia has a much more advanced missile system to fire back. Yeah, so as of yet, I haven't seen or heard anything with reports of what they struck, what sort of damage was done, casualties, or anything of that nature. Once I do see some of that, I'll follow up with it. But we couldn't at least wait until like after Thanksgiving before we start World War III. I mean, come on, guys, what the hell? And while all of this is going on, so you've got Monday, Biden authorizes the use of missiles. Tuesday, Ukraine uses the missiles. Wednesday, we have Vladimir Putin saying that he would be open to ceasefire discussions with Ukraine if the negotiations are led by Trump. And then Thursday, Russia goes ahead and retaliates against Ukraine and hits them back with missiles. I think that might have been Wednesday night, or I'm not sure what the time difference would be. Anyway, at some point yesterday, the video started coming out of the return fire. So, yeah, things could be getting really interesting. Maybe just for the idea of world peace. January 20th cannot come soon enough. But in the meantime, this is something to keep an eye on to see how things escalate. If things continue to escalate, because Zelensky has come out and said that he is open to ceasefire and peace talks following Trump winning the election. So a lot of things could be changing very quickly. It'd be cool if the outgoing administration would quit trying to just actively lob us into a world war. But, that's kind of been par for the course of what Biden and crew have done, is just figure out how to fuck everything up as far as they can and run with it. That'll do it for me today. I will be back on Monday. There's been a lot of stuff that happened over the last 24-ish hours, and I think a lot of it warrants talking about, but I want to have an opportunity to dig more into it before I do that. So I will be back on Monday. Or if you want more content from me, I'll be back this afternoon. Hey, John, I'll be back this afternoon on Peddling Fiction around 2:30 Central. Me and Johnny will be talking about all the news and stuff today, and we'll probably cover some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about next week. But that's what I got going on. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm out. Going to bed. Got to take a nap. Later.